Hello, Beehive, everybody. We're here in the Hive, and we're talking about the Bakersfield Speedway, the opening night of the Bakersfield Speedway. It was really a cool event. We're going to talk about that right now. And first, we want to thank everyone. We got over 4,000 hours of view time here on the Facebook in just 1 year. So we want to thank you so much for that. And we have lots of subscribers. Thanks for that also. And also we have a really cool thing that's happening in Speedway. Kelly Inman, he actually is looking at the Lake Elsinore for a Speedway track. So hopefully Kelly can open up a Speedway track. There's supposed to be actually 2 Speedway tracks. One is a smaller track and one's like a larger track. That's at Lake Elsinore, California. It looks like the Grand is not going to be opening possibly, so Kelly Inman is actually looking for another substitute track for that. So that's really cool, and we're looking forward to it. And also, we had that big race opening night, February 20th at Bakersfield, California. That was quite the event. And so it was at Bakersfield. Do you know where Bakersfield, California? It's in the middle of the desert, and it kind of has a bad name for living there, but it's a good place for racing. Bakersfield actually has a rich history of races from Digger Helm back in those days when they had the Bakersfield teams, and they had the track there. They had a Speedway track, and we're going to go ahead and see why. Well, first of all, where the hell is Bakersfield and why you don't want to live in Bakersfield, California?
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to The World According to Briggs, a channel where dreams become reality. Just kidding. Well, I mean, unless your dream is to hear someone talk trash about your hometown, then hey, welcome to The World According to Briggs, a channel where your twisted dream becomes reality. Today, the dream takes us to a city in the California outback known as Bakersfield. Bakersfield is to most people just some lights out your passenger side window while you drive north on Interstate 5 about 120 miles outside of Los Angeles. To around 400,000 residents, it's called home. It is the 9th most populous city in California. Bakersfield was reincorporated in 1898. I guess this is another one of those places that they didn't remember they incorporated a couple years earlier. Bakersfield carries the nickname Nashville West, which I'm sure that is some sort of insult to the actual Nashville. One is a tourist destination, and the other one's more like a tourist detention area. The first thing most tourists say while visiting Bakersfield is, why the hell did I come to Bakersfield? Why are my tires slashed? And I think somebody peed in my gas tank. Bakersfield isn't the type of place you visit, and for most people, it's not the type of place you live. But that doesn't mean people don't move or visit this place. Today we're going to see why you shouldn't move to this jewel of the California desert in my top 10 reasons not to move to Bakersfield, California.
Yeah, let's just have races in Bakersfield. Who needs to move to Bakersfield, California? And we're going to talk about the Speedway. Forget about moving to Bakersfield. This guy here was the big winner at Bakersfield. He's a North American Continental Champion, Mad Max Romo. He was the big winner of the night. He took home everything at the Bakersfield opening night. I mean, he scored a knockout in the scratch main, and he showed total dominance in the evening. He was really good. Max had a great night. It's racing Speedway. And he just did really great. Max pretty much showed his dominance. Brock Nickel went ahead and he really showed his dominance too. He was fighting Max all the way. It was a really great event here, the main event. But also we had another event. Mad Max also dominates the events. And this was actually a particular race called the Last Bandit Standing. Do you know the Last Bandit Standing? Well, Mad Max knows about that one. And it was a race. It was a tribute race to the 1976 Bandit team. It was the Bakersfield Bandits with Digger Helm. Who else was on that team? It was Jeff Sexy Sexton. It was Doug Farrell, Dangerous Doug Farrell. And it was Bert Hawkins, and it was Steve Nutter, and it was the championship 1976 National Speedway League. And this was a tribute race. They had 4 guys. It was the last man out. And every time there was a race, one guy, the last place guy, of course, would get disqualified. And then it just kept whittling down until the final 2. So we're going to check out that race. It was pretty cool. And they tribute that race to the Bakersfield Bandits, the 1976 winners of the National Speedway League, the Bakersfield Bandits.
It's time for an XSRA.TV live stream rewind.
How's it feeling out there, Max?
It's good. Great track. It's running fast. So see how this last man out goes and go from there. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Running good.
All right, that was Max Rummel, feeling confident as he made his way out to the last man standing match race. Steve Evans has a way of making speedway events a little more interesting. He organized the Last Man Out Challenge to recognize the return of speedway racing to Bakersfield and to honor the Bakersfield Bandit Speedway team from the 1970s. The event was a 2-lap heat elimination match with a final 4-lap match between the 2 remaining racers, consisting of 4 racers that included Billy Gennaro, Max Rummel, Dylan Rummel, and Brock Nickel. Let's see how it happened at the dirt track at Kern County Raceway Park. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and give us some likes, and be sure to watch all the extreme speedway racing action on XSRA.TV.
But they have brand new, first time ever worn, Bakersfield Bandit racing bibs. This is a Bandit Last Man Out Challenge. They're going to do 4 laps. Last man at the end will go out. They'll do another round of laps. Last man who comes in last will go out, and so on and so forth. So we got 1 winner. So here we go, starting us off. And Gennaro leading the battle right now. Brock Nichols running in second. Whoa, no, they're all banging up here. Nobody wants to be last. And right now, that's all that's going to matter in this race. It's anyone's race right now. Oh, they're going to do 2 laps. They changed it up, so they're going to do 2 laps. It'll be Mad Max Rummel on the inside, Dylan Rummel in the middle, and Gennaro on the outside. Here we go. 2 more laps to go. Find out who will be the next man out. And one lap clear with Mad Max Rummel in the lead and Dylan Rummel in the second spot. So we'll see what happens here. Gennaro pushing hard on the inside, but Dylan's blocking him to do it. And there you go. Gennaro is now out. Now Gennaro's out. Now it's just leaving the Rummel brothers to find out who will be the Bakersfield Bandit Last Man Out winner. So Gennaro now officially goes back into his pit area. And here we go, back 2-time AMA National Best Pairs Championships. Brothers, now they're gonna battle it out head to head to find out who will be the Bakersfield Bandit Last Man Out. Will it be the Pickle or will it be Mad Max? Here we go. Yeah, it looks like Mad Max is going to balance, so they're going to do 4 laps here. I got it backwards tonight, whatever. Can't be perfect. So they'll do a 4-lap main event here. And Mad Max Rummel way out in front of the Pickle as the white flag comes out. And there you go, the beginning of the Bakersfield Bandits' reign of terror is won by Mad Max Rummel.
Yeah, Max won that. He did really great. Max has pretty much been on a tear. So we would like to find out what's happening with Max because his brother Dylan just got signed with the Plymouth Gladiators. And I didn't know that Jason Crump was on that team. And that's a good team. And there's lots of guys from all over the country on that. So we got to check that out. And congratulations, Dylan Romo. And we had Dylan on the show a while back. And he's a really great young guy, and we're so happy for him, and he's achieving his dreams. You know, he had a big dream of going to Europe, and guess what? He's going to Europe, and that's going to be really great. And Steve Evans has really done a wonderful job with Bakersfield. You know, he's done really well. He's made that track, you know, in 49 days. I mean, from 49 days, they did the crash walls, the dirt, everything. It's really amazing what they've done at the Bakersfield Speedway in just a few days. So congratulations, Steve Evans and company. He had a lot of help. I know Brad Sauer was out there doing the walls and the track, and they put new DG out. Everything was new. Congratulations, gang, for that one. Another Speedway track in California. That's really great. And like I say, Kelly Inman looks like he wants to do a track out in Lake Elsinore. Maybe he's giving up on the Industry Hills and starting a new Speedway track. Why not? We need more Speedway tracks, and we need Northern California to open up. And New York looks like they have a full schedule opening up. So we're going to open up that Speedway no matter what. Change the venues, whatever it takes. Open the Speedway now. That's what I say. Got to open up that Speedway. And also the Speedway, you know, it was really cool, that Last Man Out, like I mentioned. It was a tribute of the 1976 Bakersfield Bandits. And I actually raced during that time in the team racing. I wasn't on a team, but I was in handicap in D1 and was able to race at the old Bakersfield Speedway. It was really cool. They were the champions of the National Speedway League. Why? Because Digger Helm was the promoter. He was an old flat tracker, Digger Helm, and he was a good guy. Everybody liked Digger Helm. And I got to probably meet him once, and he was a nice guy. And actually what he would do, he would cheat, which I liked that guy. He was a cheater. He would go ahead and prepare the track like a really hard blue groove track. I remember I rode that track really good because I liked hard tracks. And I like blue groove track. Say that 100 times. Blue groove, blue groove, blue groove. Blue groove track. And I like the blue groove track. It was fun. It was a smaller track, the old Bakersfield. It wasn't as big as Steve Evans' track, but it was hard and slick. And so we used to run the Carlisle tires. I don't know if you remember the Carlisles. They were cool. They were big, fat 19-inch tires. And what we do is they had a really big edge on it. So you go ahead and let a lot of air out of the Carlisles. And then when you ride the blue groove, it just would like hold on to the blue groove really great. And so that's exactly what we did in the old days, is we rode that Bakersfield track really great with a Carlisle and with a little bit less air. And it really gripped that blue groove, and it really ripped, you know, just fast track. And so it was a small track, the old Bakersfield Speedway. Like I said, Steve Evans' track is quite a bit larger, but it was fun. And what happened is Digger Helm, he went ahead and planned this blue groove track. And then other guys, let's say like the Irwindale Sprockets or the LA Sprockets, they would come to Bakersfield, and then like Gene Woods would run his like 22-inch tire and stuff like that. It didn't work, you know. It didn't work on that track. So Digger Helm actually planned his whole team. He said, you're going to all ride 19-inch tires. You're all going to run Carlisles, and we're going to win every race that people race at Bakersfield. And guess what? They won almost every race people raced at Bakersfield because they were smart and they actually prepared their track. And other riders, the other teams, sometimes were not as prepared, I guess is the word. It's the setup, right? It's the setup that really helps you propel to victory. and we're going to talk about that. And we have a comment here, and there's Brian Smith. Hey, Brian, how you doing, bud? And hope you're watching this on the YouTube. And we're going to talk about the 1976 Speedway team. It was really good, the team racing. We liked that one, and it was really good. And we're going to talk about the 1976, the whole league, not just the Bakersfield, but it was really cool. We missed the team racing, and Steve Evans actually has brought some of that team racing back. And I was participating in a little bit in that team racing at Victorville, and they're going to do that at Bakersfield, and they've done that a lot at Paris. So it's really cool. But we're going to go back. We're going to go way back to the original team racing at the Speedway in 1976.
Welcome back, and today we're going to talk a little bit about a piece of Speedway history that you won't find anywhere but right here. And we're going to talk about it. It's the 1976 Speedway team event. They only raced the Speedway team event for 1 year, and 1976 was the last year of the SRA. The SRA, do you remember that one? It was the Speedway Racers Association, Riders Association, whatever. The cool thing about the racing event, it was during the glory days of Speedway. It was the days of the Rocket, Rick Woods, Mike Bass, Bruce Penhall, Lightning Larry Shaw, Wild Bill Cody, the glory days of Speedway had them all. Bobby Boogaloo Schwartz, Danny Bazurko Becker. They had so many riders like the Nutters, Steve Nutter and Sonny Nutter. There was just amazing riders. There was Jim the Animal Fishback. The team racing was pretty much at the end of the glory days of Speedway, and they had just amazing characters during that time. The Speedway League had 5 teams and a total of 25 match events. The teams included the Orange County Eagles, based at Costa Mesa Fairgrounds, the Ventura Sharks at Ventura, California Beach, the San Bernardino Sizzlers, based at the Sizzler Steakhouse. And what else did they have? Let's see. The Bakersfield Bandits in Bakersfield, California. And the team that I liked was the Irwindale Sprockets. It was called the National Speedway League. The National Speedway League. Do you remember that one? Probably not. And it was just a normal Speedway activity. They had one team race the other team, 2 guys on each race, a total of 3 points for the winner, 2 points for the second place, 1 for third, and 0 points for the last place. You don't deserve that if you get last place. And they had a total of 4 rides, so you could get a total of 12 points max. But they had a main event for the top point getters of the night, and that was another 3, 2, 1, 0. For that year, Mike Bass was the leading top scorer with 13 points average. I like that one. How could you get 13 if there was 12 max? No, he was in the main and did really well. Bruce the Fox Penhall was second behind his teammate Mike Bass of the Sprockets with 11 points. Third and fourth went to the Bakersfield Bandits. Dangerous Dub Farrell, and Sexy Jeff Sexton. Check it out, we found some programs from the Los Angeles Sprockets. I have to admit that my favorite team was the Los Angeles Sprockets, led by Michael Bass, Bruce Penhall. They had Gene Woods, Norm Denny, Rob Morrison, and Craig Schaefer. They had a lot of really good riders on the Los Angeles Sprockets. But the team that won that year was the Bakersfield Bandits, led by Digger Helm, the promoter. Digger went ahead and talked to the riders, and they prepared the track and the motorcycles to ride on that track. Digger went ahead and told everyone, you must run the 19-inch Carlisle tires, and we're going to prepare this track to be a hard blue groove track. And guess what? The Bakersfield Bandits won 17-6, and they didn't lose any at home. Why? Because they were prepared, and they had the track prepared. They were smart. The riders for the Bakersfield Bandits were as follows: Dub Farrell, Jeff Sexton, Jim Grisham, Steve Nutter, Brian Short, Burke Hawkins, and Dan Toomey. Congratulations, Bakersfield Bandits, for being the champions. And the second place runner-up was my team, the Irwindale Sprockets, led by Michael Bass, Bruce Penhall, Gene Woods, Norm Denny, Steve Colombo, Rob Morrison. Third place went to the Ventura Sharks, led by Bobby Boogaloo Shorts, Danny Bazurko Becker, Sonny Nutter, Scott Sivage, Randy Marsh, Dave Sims, and Mike Bendy. Fourth place that year went to the San Bernardino Sizzlers, led by Jim the Animal Fishbeck, Lightning Larry Shaw. There was a young Dennis Segalos on that team. Mark Cherry, Dean Foreman, Ron Preston, and Rod Sexton. Surprisingly, the fifth place team was led by Rocket Rick Woods of the Orange County Eagles. They had a really good team. They had Wild Bill Cody, Alan Crazy Christian, Billy Gray, Mike Montine, Jan Ballard, and Ron Rose. Harry Oxley had a pretty good team, and they ended up in last place. The team racing was really exciting. I like that one. I was hoping that it would stay around forever. Actually, I was hoping I would ride on one of those teams. I was just below getting on one of those teams, and then that was it. 1 year, and now no more. I think that the 76 season was the last year of the glory years. That was the year that Harry Oxley kicked the SRA out. Also, the people, they seemed to not like the team racing. Why? They wanted to see all the all-stars race every week. Everyone raced. And when they went to some of the meets, they didn't like the other team. So it created some problems. And that led to 1 year, and then it was no more. Because people were spoiled. They like to see all the top riders all the time. Can you go 30? Excuse me, but I'm having a coconut in paradise. I have a coconut with a straw. Hold on. Delicious. So that was the last year of the team racing, but the coconut is still here. And it was just a lot of fun. I love the team racing. It was exciting. They had all those matching uniforms, those leathers from Bates. It was just amazing. I just love that. And like I say, I was hoping I would ride. The team racing only lasted 1 year. Excuse me a second. Hold on. If you want a good 50-cent coconut, you come here. That was it, the National Speedway League. It lasted only 1 year, and you won't find that anywhere online except for right here. I like making stories about the history that people can't find anywhere because people need to remember these things. And I like doing that one too. So thank you so much for visiting us today, the 1 year National Speedway League. Please click here for more videos. There's some really cool videos you might want to check out, and subscribe right there. So thank you so much, and please like, share, subscribe, and always ring that bell.
Yeah, ring that bell. Oh, I'm going to the beach today. It's summertime, and it's time to go to the beach. I like that. I like that coconut too. Like, hold on a minute, I'm gonna have a drink. Oh, I'm gonna do that one. And so, actually, the Bakersfield Speedway was really cool, and it's a 220-yard track, the one that's today, and it's really it was a beautiful track. It was really well prepared. Steve Evans and company did a really great job. It was a nice track. And it was really good. And we have a little video of Heat 20 with Dylan Romo, the one who signed for the Plymouth Gladiators, and the champion, Billy Gennaro. He's just really great rider. And he's been a 10-time United States champion. What else do you want? 10 times. There's nobody that's ever been 10 times champion except for her. And, you know, it's amazing to be a 10-time United States champion, and we honor and respect the champion Billy Gennaro. But on this night, Heat 20, we're gonna see who wins this race.
It's time for an XSRA.TV live stream rewind.
All right, everyone's lined up again. We'll start them off in style one more time. Dylan Rummel, Billy Gennaro, Mike Miller, and Chance Grove. Dylan Rummel going wide. That opens the door for Gennaro if he can get through. But the pickle, Dylan Rummel, former under-16 national champion, leading the pack, but he's really trying to get that high grip, and it's working for him. That's usually Gennaro's spot. That's where Gennaro's going right now to get that high, dry grip. Give him a little extra push there as he comes around the turn, but Dylan Rummel is leading the pack right now. Billy Gennaro races for NJK Leathers, Arai Helmets, Oakley Glasses, Joker Machine, and West Coast Muffler is running in second right now. And the 168 Grove, and that's how they'll finish up. Dylan Rummel, Billy Gennaro, and Chance Grove.
That was a good race, and Dylan went ahead and took down Billy J. So it's the changing of the guard is coming soon. So we're excited about seeing who's gonna take that #1 AMA plate away from Billy. You know, he can only last so long. I mean, Billy has been just an amazing champion, and we wish Billy all the best because he's really a fighter. I mean, that guy's there fighting for every inch of the way. I mean, he's good. So we're gonna see what happens, but. You know, these guys like Romo brothers, they all want the #1. Brock Nickel, Luke Becker, these guys all want #1, and everybody else. Everybody wants to be #1. And it's going to be a dogfight to definitely get that #1 AMA plate. Everybody wants that. And like I say, I had Max Romo on the show here, and he said, you know what, if I don't go to England, Europe, I'm going to stay home and I'm going to win that #1 plate. So you have these guys really determined to take down the title, the crown, the #1 on their back. They really want that so much. But on the last Saturday night, on February 20th, there was 22 riders riding that night. That was really unbelievable. They had 22 guys starting that race. and they had to like have elimination because they had to have that down to 16. So they had first 2 races, they wanted to see like who was the top point getters, and the ones who probably got 0 points or 1 point in 2 races, they actually were eliminated. So they had to whittle the field down because there were so many riders, down to 16 riders from 22. So the 22 riders, they actually had to take those guys down. And so they had the 2 rounds, and then the lowest D1 riders. They're all D1 riders, so they're good. I mean, these guys are all good. All the guys that got eliminated were quality riders and are quality riders. But somebody had to go, right? They had to get that field whittled down to the top 16. And so that's exactly what they did. And then from the top 16, they had to whittle that down to the top 8. And then the top 8, they actually had a semi in the top 8. And that's exactly what they did, is they did a semi of the top 8. And they had a good night of racing. We have a racer that's going to join us, hopefully, in a few minutes. And we're waiting for him. And I sent him a link, so hopefully he'll come on. If not, I guess, oh, wow. So we have a special guest surprise we're waiting for in the hive. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to wait for him, and hopefully he's going to show up. But what they did is they had 2 semis. They had the semi number 1 and semi number 2. Semi number 1 had Brock Nickel. He was unbeaten in all of his particular races before that. And he actually beat Billy Gennaro for that particular semi-win. But Billy Gennaro and Brock Nickel, they actually advanced to go on to the final. So who cares if you're second place? You want to be in that final, right? It's a chance of winning the night. And then the two riders that were eliminated was Sebastian Palomisi and Russell Green. Their nights were done. But Russell was really one of the top point getters of the night. He had a fantastic night. Russell was on fire. We had Russell on the show a couple of nights ago, and Russell's just really going higher and higher and higher. He's doing great, and we wish him all the luck in the world, because Russell is just he's like 28 years old, and he just keeps getting better and better. Usually when people get older, look at Greg Hancock. I mean, he was winning world championships in his late 40s. So you're never really too old once you have that speedway base established, like Russell Green has, like Greg Hancock has. I mean, once you have the speedway foundation, I mean, you never lose it, and you just keep getting better and better and better. But sometimes I refer to a lot of the new riders, like who just come in cold turkey. It's really difficult to ride a speedway bike, and it's really, really difficult. And we have actually a video on the speedway bike, and it's just really hard to ride a speedway. What does it take to ride a speedway bike? People think it's easy. You watch a speedway race, oh, that's easy. It's easy, really? You think so? You think going 0 to like 80 kilometers an hour in 2 seconds is easy? You think going into the first turn with no brakes, 4 guys rushing in for that spot is easy? It's not easy. Speedway rider it's only easy if you're in the hot dog stands, in the Coke stands, watching the races. But if you're on the speedway track and you have that throttle in your hand and you have to go wide open, it's not so easy. What is a speedway bike?
Welcome back. We're here at the beautiful White Beach in Boracay, and we want to thank you for subscribing, that little red button at the bottom. And today we're going to talk about what it takes to ride a speedway bike. How do you ride a speedway bike? We're going to talk about that right now. Lots of people who watch the races, they dream of actually riding a motorcycle, a speedway motorcycle, but very few people actually do that. But everyone dreaming, I want to ride that speedway bike. If you watch the races, it looks like a lot of fun. is it then that most people don't muster the courage to ride a speedway bike? They don't actually take it for a spin, but they're always dreaming of it. A speedway rider is a rare breed. It takes courage to actually ride that speedway bike and nerves of steel. Not everyone has that. Imagine it, riding a 500cc fire-breathing monster, 0 to 80 kilometers an hour in 2 seconds, no brakes, and holding that throttle wide open. It takes nerves of steel, real courage to be a speedway rider. Imagine this, you got 3 or 4 guys at the line with you, and it's the first guy to the turn usually wins that race. So you hold the throttle wide open, you drop the clutch, and you go for it, and see what happens. The famous Brad Oxley, he told it to me like this: if you have 3, 4, or 5 guys going into the turn, there's only one spot for that bike. So if you have, let's say, 3 or 4 guys going at the same spot at the same time, guess what is going to happen? You're going to have a crush. So you want to be a speedway rider, huh? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's not as easy as it sounds. That is why a speedway rider is a rare breed of motorcycle riders. In life, there are actually 2 things for sure, and that's death and taxes. But as a speedway rider, there's actually 3 things for sure: death, taxes, and motorcycle crashes. Speedway riders are tough as nails. They crash, they get hurt, and they just shut up and they go ahead and take their knocks. A speedway rider is a special breed of motorcycle rider, and when they crash, they go home and heal. They do it quietly in their own home. Sometimes it takes days, weeks, months. And the motorcycle rider, the speedway motorcycle rider, he goes ahead and sucks it up and heals. But if you're a speedway motorcycle rider, it's not about crashing. It's about winning. Because when you win, it feels really great. And when you lose, it doesn't feel very good. But winning is the main reason why speedway riders race motorcycles. They want to win. And if you don't want to win, you should just stay home. No sense of going out there waving to the crowd, showing off. It's not about that. If you're a speedway rider, it's about one thing, and that's winning. So what's so special about winning? What is so great about winning? Well, when you win, it feels great. There's actually like an exhilarating feeling, like these palm trees, these coconut trees in my hair. I look pretty good, huh? Very sexy. Winning is just about everything. It makes you feel good. I remember the first championship I had at age 17, that cup, that King of the Hill match race champion. Also in 2005, when I made my Speedway comeback, my third Speedway comeback, I finally won my first main event at the Industry Hills. And I was so happy. I was smiling. My helmet had the smile way out. You can't buy that anywhere, that happiness within yourself. So racing a Speedway bike, you have a very big upside. Of course, crashing is very downside. But when you win a championship or a main event, it's like the whole world is over, like off your shoulders. But probably the hardest thing actually to riding a Speedway bike is mustering up that courage to actually get on that bike. It takes a lot of courage to jump on a Speedway bike, but once you do it, you just go ahead and get that first crash over with, and then it's smooth sailing partially after that. It gets better and better after that. The more seat time you have, the better you get. Also, if you get a lesson from a top D1 rider, that helps you out a lot. That's how I improved so much at my first year, is I went ahead and took lessons from Dangerous Doug Farrell, and it helped me so much. So if you can find a top D1 rider and say, hey, I want to pay you a little money and I want to learn how to ride a Speedway bike, it will help you so much. So actually just doing it is really the main thing of how you become a good Speedway rider. Have the courage to go for it and to try it out. A Speedway rider is a rare breed, a very special breed. And if you want to be a Speedway rider, it's really great. It's one of the best parts of my life is been a Speedway rider. So I encourage you, if you're trying or thinking about being a Speedway rider, even trying the bike out, go for it. It doesn't hurt. The worst you can do is crash or nothing. I mean, it just go for it. It doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are, just go for it. Open that baby up wide open and take it for a spin. So that's it. The Speedway bike, how to be a Speedway rider, and it's really fun. And it takes a little work and dedication too. So thank you so much for watching my blog, and we ask you to subscribe. We have other videos right here you can watch, and we really appreciate your patronage to the channel. And so please like, share, subscribe, and always ring that bell.